in that. So now, okay, right. You know. So once again, a very good evening to one and all. Myself, Anukriti Raj, the moderator of this series, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, organized by Expressions in Languages and Arts Foundation, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. On behalf of the foundation, I take this opportunity to extend my heartiest greetings to the speaker this evening, Deepti Kandari ji, and to all my dear professor and friends who have joined us. मैं बताना चाहूँगी कि आज आज आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मनाते हुए स्वतंत्रता दिवस की 75वीं वर्षगांठ का जश्न, उत्सव और उमंग और भी खास हो जाता है जब हम शौर्य और पराक्रम की गाथाओं में भारत माता की मिट्टी में जन्मी वीरांगनाओं का योगदान और उनकी भूमिका जंग आज़ादी के परिप्रेक्ष्य में पढ़ते और देखते हैं। ऐसे ही साहित्य महत्वपूर्ण हो जाते हैं। ये आम जन को उनकी भाषा और संस्कृति की अनुभूति कराते हुए इतिहास की शौर्य गाथा एवं पराक्रम को न केवल दोहराते हैं अपितु आज की वीरांगनाओं की हौसला अफजाई भी करते हैं। सो इसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में मैं आपके साथ ऐसे ही हमारे प्रोफेसर आरपी सिंह सर द्वारा ऐसे ही साहित्य में हमारे नाटककार प्रोफेसर रविंद्र प्रताप सिंह सर जी की कृतियाँ चैन कहाँ अब नैन हमारे और झलकारी बाई, वीरांगना उदा देवी और झलकारी बाई जैसे भारत पुत्रियों के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम पर केंद्रित महत्वपूर्ण नाट्य कृतिकाएँ हैं। चैन कहाँ अब नैन हमारे लखनऊ के आसपास के गांवों और स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की कुछ महत्वपूर्ण तिथियों पर जगरानी उदा देवी के नेतृत्व में जंग आज़ादी की उस पृष्ठभूमि की गाथा है जो ऐतिहासिक सिकंदर बाग लखनऊ में 16 नवंबर 1857 को घटी। नाटककार प्रोफेसर रविंद्र प्रताप सिंह जी लिखते हैं, काले गणवेश में महिलाएं, हाथों में भाले बर्छियां, कमर में कटार, उदा देवी के कंधे पर बंदूक है। यह स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की चिंगारी है और एक अप्रतिम रण है। अवध के परिप्रेक्ष्य में वह कहते हैं, निम्न उच्च का भेद नहीं, मजहब पंथों के पेच नहीं। नाटक झलकारी बाई में उन्होंने दुर्गा दल की छवि को उकेरा है। जनरल यूरोज और झलकारी बाई के संवाद में झलकारी बाई का स्पष्ट संदेश है। तत्कालीन औपनिवेशिक अत्याचारियों के लिए मौत का पैगाम। ये नाटक भारत माता के लिए बलिदान हो गई वीरांगनाओं के सम्मान में महत्वपूर्ण रचनाएं हैं। नाटककार मानते हैं कि आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव, प्रोफेसर आरपी सिंह सर मानते हैं कि यह आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव वीरांगना झलकारी बाई, वीरांगना उदा देवी, वीरांगना अवंती बाई जैसे ऐतिहासिक महिलाओं के प्रति नमन और श्रद्धांजलि देने का अवसर है। इन्हीं भावों से वे मुख्य धारा के साथ ही ऐतिहासिक हाशियों में पड़े चरित्रों को केंद्र में रखकर एक सीरीज भी इस पर तैयार किए जा रहे हैं। सो मैं थोड़ा सा ये आज वीरांगनाओं पे आपसे थोड़ी सी बात की और आज अब मैं देख सकती हूँ कि हमारी वक्ता हमारे साथ जुड़ गई हैं। तो बिना वक्त लेते हुए मैं अपने पार्टिसिपेंट्स के समक्ष मैं आज की स्पीकर को इंट्रोड्यूस आई वुड लाइक टू इंट्रोड्यूस दिस टुडेज स्पीकर. So today's speaker we have is Ms. Deepti Kandari. She is an assistant professor in soft skills at D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi, Pune. She has completed her post-graduation in English from Ferguson College, Pune, and she qualified state eligibility test in English, Maharashtra. She is also certified in Cambridge English, business certificate higher, body language, key to professional success, IIT Roorkee, and enhancing soft skills and personality from IIT Kanpur. Over the last 4 years, she has been working with prestigious institutes like National Defense Academy, Symbiosis International University, and D.Y. Patil College of Engineering. Her areas of interest includes English language and literature, teaching in India, and employability skills. Being a passionate teacher and researcher, she has been constantly working on different modules and techniques to make learning fun for the student and enhancing their employability. So now I request, a friend of mine, and I request now Deepti to please take over.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Anukriti. And thank you so much for being so kind and sweet while introducing me. And I remember, the first time we met in Delhi, and we both of us were pursuing our BA honors in English from Bharati College, Delhi University.
Yes.
So, we got acquainted there, and then we became roommates and very close friends. So thank you so much for inviting me here. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Professor R.P. Singh and Dr. Alka Singh, the backbone of Expressions in Languages and Arts Foundation, Lucknow. And I believe this is a wonderful initiative that this particular organization has taken, wherein we as youngsters are being given opportunity to express what we feel about our nation and what national consciousness is according to us. Indian writing in English specifically. So before going there, I would like to talk about the idea or the concept of literature or the definition of literature. So in most of my classes, when we start, the first question that I often ask my literature students is what they mean by literature or what is literature for them. So there are so many things that we can talk about as far as the role of literature, the purpose of literature in the society or in a society is concerned. And I believe spreading awareness about any particular topic or any particular, any particular challenge or problem or different areas of life, of human life, can be included in literature. Now, to begin my paper, I would like to first quote. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, please continue.
So
please continue.
I'll continue.
Yes.
Sorry. Hello.
Yes, Deepti, please continue. Please continue, Deepti.
Okay, so I will continue. Yeah, so I would like to quote Makhdoom, one of the famous poets, Urdu poets from our country. He writes, "Lo surkh savera aata hai, azadi ka, gulnar tarana gata hai, azadi ka, dekho parcham lehrata hai, azadi ka." When I read these words and whenever I read poetry, there is so much that poetry can get us into. There is so much that poetry can influence us with. And there is so much that poetry can teach us. And I believe it is one of those most important methods that anyone can use to influence people to, put across a particular view or opinion or, an expression somebody can put across to other people. So with these words of Makhdoom, I would like to start, and I would like to talk about again how Indian literature helped and evolved in helping us understand the importance of nationalism or the love for our nation. So Indian writing exhibited a new sensibility that was nationalism, which provided themes such as the love of the nation or the patriotic theme. Now, literature played a significant role in national consciousness throughout Indian history. Now, when nationalist ideas began to emerge and literature in different Indian languages, in regional languages, entered its modern phase, many writers began to write literature for patriotic purposes. And from there on, I mean, we Indians understood what literature can be and what power it holds on all of us. So in fact, most of them believed that they belonged to an all these poets and all these writers, they initially believed that, you know, they belong to this enslaved country, and it was their duty to create literature of a kind that contributed to their society and paved the way for national liberation. And we know how much it helped us. So with the passage of time, as the freedom movement began to attract larger sections of people and the demand for freedom became more insistent, literature strengthened the growing idealism of the people. Literature inspired the people to make all kinds of sacrifices for the cause of country's liberation, and also exposed the weakness of nationalist movements and its leaders. The national consciousness emerged in India due to socio-religious reforms, influence of Western ideas, and British rules. Growing contacts with the world outside, a deep-seated and heartfelt urge for the revival of the culture of the past, the pressing demands for social reform, and the revolutionary changes in political as well as economic conditions of the country naturally caused the unfolding of Indian genius in manifold petals. So we started looking for ways in which we could liberate ourselves, and literature was one of the ways. Now, the contact with the outside world, and it opened the Indians' mind, and we became aware more about our nation and the problems that the nation faced from within and as a result of foreign rule, the British rule. The growth of national consciousness among Indian people made us aware about our nation, our values, and ideas of national identity. The English literature, the Indian English literature, I would say, and produced the national writers who wrote about the nation. It transformed the attitude and thinking of the Indian writers. The idea of national identity emerged in Indian literature during 19th century. The Indian writing turned into voice of nationalism. The writers of 19th century expressed the feelings of nationalism, raised the question of why the British ruled over them, and the nature and extent of British exploitation of Indian people through their writing. They were bringing the message of patriotism and revolutionary thought. Their literary writing expressed the Indian nationalism, but it was more in favor of British rule somewhere. The writers like Bhartendu Harishchandra, who was father of Hindi literature, raised the question against British. But at the same time, he admitted that if the British had not come to administer India, the country's ruin would have gone on without interruption. Even Bankim, known for his patriotic writing, believed the British rule saved India from a chaotic social political condition of the post-Mughal period. So they adopted dual approach towards the British rule, and it was general pattern of the educated Indians respond to the British rule. The environment of this period made the writer speak as an enlightened person, one who believed in his own nation, but who also still believed in the positive role of the British in the growth of modern India. The duty of a poet or a writer is, I would say, not just to now, in the last quarter of 19th century, many writers, they emerged and they marked it as one of the richest periods in the Indian literature. Now, many trends which reached their full development in the 20th century had their roots in the earlier century. One of the basic concerns in the literature was impact of Western civilization. It affected Indian writers' sense of history, their understanding of the past, and their ideas of the progress. In short, total view of life and society. So the influence of Western forms of literary expression and modern aesthetic value become more prominent in the last decade of the 19th century. A number of prominent writers now came into the limelight. The traditional form of story writing gave way to the newer forms of characterization and construction of plots. Then there were some factors that helped Indian literature to grow faster and reach a larger audience or a wider audience. The first was, of course, the printing press, which carried literature far and wide and made it unnecessary for creative work to be restricted largely to forms that could be memorized. It made the transmission of ideas easier. Were heard in almost every Indian language. The patriotic fervor was inspired by revolt. Next comes the fourth factor, and I believe which is one of the most important factors here, was the rise of the middle class. Now, in the 19th century, new middle class emerged in India to share and communicate its awareness of contemporary situations. So exposure to Western education heightened the spirit of inquiry, this curiosity, and facilitated interaction with new ideas and intellectual perspectives. So these middle classes, they basically worked on two fronts. They started writing books and articles, and they started getting published in newspapers to critically analyze what Britishers were offering us in the form of the policies. And these middle class people, they tried to develop consciousness among the masses. And another way or another method that these people used were by forming organizations, associations, and societies, for joint programs and activities, and with the help of which they try to help, make people aware about the nationalism. So, I really believe that this middle class religious reform movement and the revolt of 1857, both these developed the spirit of pride and desire for liberty. The love of liberty and motherland became main themes in most of the poetry, most of the writings of this point of time, and self-reflection and self-criticism was another marked feature of the literature that emerged at this time. Another factor was the transmission of modern scientific idea from the West. I've already mentioned it, but to elaborate on this, this resulted in a dramatic change in mindset among people exposed to these ideas or to these modern Western ideas. So, according to Akshay Kumar Dutt, who was the first Indian to propose a national scheme of education, the traditional system was to be totally rejected. In his scheme of education, the students were to be introduced to basics of scientific knowledge at a very early age. He considered science education to be the most urgent need of the times and therefore advocated the establishment of schools of technology, agriculture, and shipbuilding. And as we go on, we see, that perhaps never before in Indian history were our people subjected to such crowded series of intellectual and emotional impacts in such a short period of time. And this happened because we had so much of Western influence that, that come up. So when we talk about the three important factors, I believe they are the printing press, the rise of middle class, and this transmission of modern scientific and sociological ideas. So, and this lead to the rise of literary trends in many Indian languages. Now, as a result of these influences, certain broad characteristics can be identified in the literature of most Indian languages, and they were the development of prose, and with it, the development of novel and short story, then the introduction of social and psychological issues as literary themes, then the appearance of very individualistic expressions in poetry, which included personal symbols and different kinds of imagery. Also, we notice the emergence of realism as an accepted technique in all literary forms, wherein people started talking about the challenges that they face, during this phase. Now, in the 20th century, a new trend in literature became discernible. Indian literature of the 20th century is a memorable record of the triumph and tragedy of Indian people involved in most significant engagement in their history, the struggle for independence and the challenges that followed the achievement of that goal tragedy. So in addition to experimentation with literary forms, the literature engaged with human problems which are universal, regional, or linguistic, and with the society of the time. At the same time, the literature reflected a sense of pride in the past of the country and of the problems created as a result of its current position as a colony, British colony. So we see that the Indian writers, they constantly expressed their views about the political fate of their country because of the British rule. They questioned the ideologies that dictated the nature of the political systems, along with questioning the perceptions of art and history. Indian literature began to negotiate with the changes in the literary community from the 19th century that witnessed the introduction of the printing press, the rise of a new middle class under a new educational dispensation, and slow decline of the old traditional system. The greater writers of this period had expressed a nostalgic feeling for the glories or the past glories of India. They had passion for social reform and urge for rational inquiry and a quest for new value. Now, many poems were written to express the national sentiments and depicted the feeling of dissatisfaction with foreign rule. The Indian writers started to write about the political tension in the country and their impact on literature. So the literature became, a natural vehicle of social political movements as much as these movements receive momentum from literary texts and activities. So like I was saying, literature is basically a reflection of what happens in the society. So both of these, they go hand in hand. So it was at this time that literature became, in its truest sense, both a reflection of national consciousness and the creator of this consciousness. So much of this literature emerged from the English educated classes, but its very nature, literature is capable of finding a wider audience. They set before society a mirror of the present state of the nation and inculcated in them a sense of questioning and therefore a desire for change. Motivated by the spirit of nationalism, they expressed this sense through their own writings, which in turn found a place in society. And the 20th century witnessed remarkable changes in style and diction in literature in different languages. Individual writers explored the possibilities of existing genres, they created new forms of expressions and continuously experimented with meters and narrative structures and dramatic modes. And they were trying to include what was happening around them through different forms. And hence they were looking for new forms to write. Now, this century opened up wide opportunities to the author. The national movement encouraged the writers look into pre-colonial literary and artistic traditions, which opened up a fresh world. Equally important, they also began to interact with literature of different languages within the country, and hence, regional consciousness also becomes important that way through regional literature, I would say. So thus, writing as a whole showed great awareness, both of different languages within the country and of various social and occupational groups in different parts of the country. 20th century literature displayed the writer's understanding of the social reality and their response to the emerging socio-political forces in their own time. So the 19th century reforms and social awakening had resulted in gradual changes in Indian society. So literature could obviously not remain untouched by these forces of change. So it is aptly said that literature is a mirror of contemporary society. And I keep on, saying this, and I truly believe in this. So literature activities increase when there is change in social, political situation, or there is a religious upheaval. Both literature and society interact with each other and they I believe, are interdependent. So in the 19th century, we can clearly see that there were a lot of writers who were writing about what was happening in the world, and through help of them, we had this national consciousness and people got to know about everything that was happening around. So now many people who belong to landlords, families, they had lost their jobs due to decline of Mughal Empire previously and princely states. So among them, there were many who had learned English in English school and colleges and were influenced by the democratic ideas and literature of Europe. Now, movements for religious reforms and modern education like Brahmo Samaj and Arya Samaj were emerging from these groups. And their preference for revivalism and efforts to present religion in a new light was a way to promote rationality and democratic ideas. While the British rulers were trying to create a sense of inferiority among Indians, the revivalists were trying hard to present the historical and cultural achievement to preserve dignity of Indians. So while British rulers helped to spread ignorance and conservatism, the reformists, or I would say these New Age poets, they countered the British policy by finding examples of rationality and equality among Indian tradition. So when they stressed to follow the examples of British rulers, they meant that Indians should give up the superstitious and the habit of lamenting our fate and begin to think and work in modern way to take our place in modern age. So I believe this cultural awakening was at once a redefinition of India's national identity in terms of its past glory and re-examination of national and social structure. This shows an inquiry of factors that caused degeneration that happened gradually over previous centuries. These questioning involved a fresh look at fundamental of governance with dignity and justice. Thus, cultural renaissance.
Sorry to interrupt, Dipti. Can you just please summarize up in just 1 minute, because we are able
Sure. Okay.
to
I'll do
end
it.
the session. We'll be ending the session automatically. The session will end over. So
Okay.
please, okay, yes, please, in 1 minute.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I would here like to quote Premchand, and I want to refer to Premchand here, who's one of our famous writers. So it is said that literature is the mirror of its time. The expression and ideas that energize the heart of people also cast its shadows on literature. And I believe Premchand is one of those most important writers who've been called the voice of the millions of Indian masses, especially of the Indian peasants. And through his writings, we see that though it has that simplicity, though his language is simple, clear, but it makes a lot of sense, and it does represent, us Indians at that time. So there are a lot of poets like him, there are a lot of writers like him who came up and who talked about our nation and what we Indians were going through at that time. Yeah. So from my end.
Thank you so much, Deepti. It was really very lucid, very, we would have continued, but due to shortage of time, we would be just, ending the session within a minute. So thank you, participants. Thank you, Deepti. I mean, you just, I just called you and you are just coming from university. You joined it, and it's just pleasure to have you with us. And thank you, participants. मैं आपका धन्यवाद